Welcome to episode 3 of Kayfabe's Not Dead. I'm your host CJ, and tonight we have...
This is Jess over here in the Starlit City, and we are joined by none other than...
Who is
Actually,
that?
I don't know who that is.
Ooh, yeah, CJ and Jess. How are you doing today, brother? This is your boy, the Macho Man, Randy Savage.
Oh my God, Macho Man!
I didn't realize we had hit this in the kind of numbers. We have the Macho Man here with us live in studio.
I thought you were dead.
No, CJ. See, what happened was I challenged Hulk Hogan to a match for the children, but he decided not to call me up on the match, so I had to kind of go low-key. But when I found out that this is going to be the 3rd episode of Kayfabe's Not Dead, I figured I had to come and join to lay down the law when it comes to wrestling.
Wow, what an honor. I honestly can't believe it.
I toast to you, good sir. Wait a minute. Is that John?
Oh my God! Dapper!
I'm sorry, I had to do one. This is number 3. And this is the time when, yes, your longest reigning champion of predictions
I'm going to
of
forever
pay-per-view
regret this.
cards has arrived. The limo
I'm coming
has
for
just
that title
pulled up.
belt.
Well, I gotta say, you had me fooled, but I want all of the people watching at home to comment and rate Dapper's impression of the legend that is the Macho Man. I was thinking Bray might have resurrected him, but...
Let me just interject real quick that, yes, I did contact my insurance company, and I will be reimbursed for that belt you stole off my wall.
So, on today's episode...
Just remember, Jess, the cream will always rise to the top.
To you, good sir.
Oh, yeah!
Bye, Dapper.
So on today's episode, we're going to talk about the Raw and Smackdown post Payback and the fallout that was a pretty solid pay-per-view.
Can I just say though, for our 3rd episode, getting Macho Man here, that's one for me.
That was
you guys got to
get.
step it up.
That was a pretty good.
You guys
get.
got to step it up. I'm already in talks with Arnold to get the Gunnator in here.
I personally cannot wait till I get to do my Darren Young impression when I win the belt.
All right, so with that said, we're going to start with Raw. I
might not be repping her, but let's talk about Alexa Bliss.
Yeah, so...
Her coronation. I don't want to get creepy, but she hit every one of my fetishes in the course of about 30 seconds. She declared herself not only the queen, but the goddess of Raw.
Yeah,
and rightfully so.
She's not just the champ. She's not the queen. She's the goddess. And
now, my thing though, is this a foreshadowing of your latest Hall of Famer induction of Beth Phoenix? Just throwing that out there. We'll see if the writers pick it up.
Maybe
they don't respond to my emails.
They did to mine, though, and we'll get to that shortly.
So,
but
nobody cares about Darren Young.
Yeah. So we get Bliss.
We have the new Darren Young, Apollo Crews.
We get Bliss entering the ring, and the ring's all decked out, and they have this podium, and all the other women's superstars are in the ring already, and Bliss enters the ring and starts her promo, and I love how she goes around and gives some thank yous to some of the other women. Bailey looks like she's gonna cry the entire time.
Was there anything sweeter than drinking up those tears where she told Bailey that her cousins were in the crowd and for the first time they got to see what a true role model looked like?
The only way that
this
promo would have been better is if during the pay-per-view Alexa Bliss went down there to console the children and just went up to them, wiped their eye and went, "Tastes so good," and then walked away.
Well, with the entirety of this promo, I think there could be an argument to say that Bliss is the best heel on Raw. Period.
Yes.
At least with the
like
from a
I
promo
said,
the promo side, at least.
like I said last week during episode 2, she is by far the best women's heel they have ever had.
And Hodap, it's been a day, not a week.
Kayfabe.
Did he just break kayfabe?
Yes.
He broke kayfabe at episode 3. What is the point?
We break kayfabe all the time.
I'm just throwing it out there.
Why did I already set my clocks forward by like 6 days to make this work?
Do you know how much vacation time I have to use with work?
So Bliss steps on top of the platform, and when she gets to the very top, she's just barely taller than Nia Jax.
Yes.
And
she's 5 feet of fury, and she is packed to the brim with that fury.
And you can't teach that.
And she insults Bayley, and then Bayley goes into a rage and gets thrown off the podium. And then we basically get a full-out brawl between all the faces and heels, and that segues into our 4 versus 4 women's tag match. I thought the match was pretty solid.
Gotta give Emma something to do.
Are we jumping straight to the match, or are we going to continue with...
I mean, do you guys have anything else to say about the promo?
Yeah, Bliss killed it as she always does and always will. She is, as many of us agree, the best heel.
The one thing I'm sad about with the shakeup is we're not going to see a Charlotte versus Bliss anytime soon, and I want to see that.
I personally have no interest in that match.
Really?
You have no interest?
I have no interest. I feel Charlotte needs a lot of time to develop as the babyface that she's slowly becoming over on SmackDown, but that is a discussion for when we get to SmackDown.
Okay. So we had some great mix-ups, and it was a good opportunity to give some of the mid-card ladies some solid TV time, because I don't know if you guys have noticed, but the women's divisions on both sides are a pretty decent size, and even with Raw being 3 hours, it seems like they tend to only spend, 1, maybe 2 matches on Raw dedicated to the women. So the mid-carders kind of get lost in the shuffle.
I will give you that, because I did not expect to see so many women out on that mat when Alexa Bliss was giving her speech. I thought Alicia Fox died on 205. I thought Emma was still trying to find herself. And I was like, oh my God, there's more than 3 people in their women's roster.
I do want to interject. It was interesting to see Emma there. I am not used to it, and to just see her casually sit back and do her thing was shocking.
And that leads to what I wanted to say. I had no idea who Dana Brooke was, and I was super impressed with some of the flips that she was landing, some of the back handsprings she was pulling off. Even the announcer sounded surprised when she landed some of the moves.
Well, yeah, she's a big girl, CJ. She's a big girl.
She's a talent. There's no doubt about that, but it is great to finally see her getting some time and getting featured, and more than just the traditional, she's a backup, she's a bodyguard, she's,
some of the 30-second promos she's had with Emma. Nia Jax continues to be a monster. Soon it's going to be hard, story-wise, I think, to keep Nia away from the belt.
They did it for Andre. They kept him away from the belt for a while.
Yeah, but that's a completely different era, though. I think the way they've been booking Nia, it's like with Braun. I would argue Braun should be having a title match with Brock right now.
I think it should wait for a WrestleMania.
Well, that's another year from now. Let's hope they don't wait that long.
Do you truly believe that's a WrestleMania caliber match?
I think so, just because Braun's still green.
I do have some breaking news currently updating onto the WWE app. Fonzie is apparently going to be performing the official theme at NXT TakeOver Chicago.
Fonzie?
Yes, Chris Jericho's band.
Oh, Fozzy.
Fozzy. Yeah,
I'm
you
sorry,
said-
did I cut out there?
no,
I thought you
heard,
said Arthur Fonzarelli.
Yeah, I thought you said Fonzie as well.
The man who taught me how to fly fish, no, Dapper, not him.
Yeah. Continue.
Well,
I'll be
we'll
back. I have a knock
we'll,
at my door.
We'll
Jess,
we'll
I'm
talk
coming
about
for you.
we'll talk about Jericho when we get to SmackDown. But yeah, Jess, your girl Nia Jax, she looked like a beast.
For those trying to keep track at home, I have 2 girls I rep like there's no tomorrow. Truthfully, 3, but one has a vote of no confidence. My absolute favorite is Nia Jax. She is the epitome of what a woman should be, and she is perfection. Followed up by Alexa Bliss, the 5 Feet of Fury. She kills it. Across the board, every aspect, she is perfection.
Well,
Followed up by, finally, our weakest performer, Sasha Banks, who simply cannot hold a belt because she apparently breaks herself under the weight.
I don't agree with that third sentence, but like I said before,
I will drive cross-state to smack that smile off your face.
I think Nia's getting ready. I think they're going to start pushing her eventually, but I hope that they keep giving her these kind of tag matches and whatnot so that she's getting a lot more experience because she is still green. It looks like towards the end of the match, we had setups for a bunch of feuds. So I don't know if you guys noticed this, but when everybody went outside of the ring, they kind of had everybody paired off. Mickey James and...
Yes, they used a multi-tag match to tell multiple stories.
Which was great.
How progressive.
Yeah, they actually did it. So it looks like... I'm assuming it was Mickey James and Nia, Alicia Fox, and Sasha Banks, and then Emma and Dana
Why do you put the 2 African Americans together?
No comment.
You'd have to ask WWE. I think I think both size-wise it works.
Are we referring to Apollo Crews and Titus O'Neil?
Yeah.
Are we referring to the New Day? Are we referring to what they do with every character? Except for Darren Young, the true champion of WWE, who is currently out on injury, and everyone holding that belt, including Lesnar, is just a placeholder till he returns.
All right. We're gonna pause and we're gonna
Just
go
wait
back
till
to
I
the
get
match,
Bob Backlund on this
because
podcast.
I really want to know what you guys think. I don't know if you guys caught this, but this infuriated me. I don't know why it made me so mad, but for the finish, I don't know if you guys remember, but it's
Botch rake across the eyes?
Yeah. So, the finish. So, the ref is staring at Bliss and Bayley. Bayley goes for something. Bliss reverses and is on top of her and rakes her in the eyes. And the ref is literally staring right at the 2 of them. So,
Can you blame him if he does not watch the match and his eyes are focused solely on Alexa Bliss? You are staring at perfection.
Well, what I was going to say was, I guess even the refs can botch, and the announcers, and I quote, "And now Bayley and Alexa Bliss, though, right to the eyes. Yeah, rake to the eyes. The official didn't see it. The official was blinded. Yeah? By what? Alexa Bliss? By Nia Jax? By Sasha? What the hell was going on?"
I don't mean to make accusations about your sexuality, but have you not seen Alexa Bliss?
She is hot.
She is
All
Bliss.
I'm going to say
If you watch the replay, they even show the replay, and the ref is just standing right behind them. He's not looking outside of the ring and watching the other girls fight. He's staring right at Bayley and Alexa Bliss.
All I'm going to say is, yes, he's a Hebner, but he's not Earl Hebner.
The greatest.
Yes. He tried. Bless his little heart. He tried.
So, right after that match, do you guys have anything else to say about that match? I thought it was good.
It was fine. I got no real comments.
It was just like all the other women wrestling matches.
Whoa, bro, not cool. This is 2017.
That they have on Raw and SmackDown when they start throwing a cluster group of people together.
No, this was better than the standard cluster. This actually progressed everyone's story.
No, it wasn't. It was so telegraphed. You got 5 minutes of wrestling where everyone gets tagged in, and then you have one person in the ring, one person do a finish to knock that person out, so someone on the other team can do their finish, and
Just
back
is
and
ready to
forth,
fight.
back and forth, until Alexa Bliss and Bayley
Keep
are
them on
left.
Skype for a few hours. I'll be over.
All I'm going to say, Jess, is follow the buzzards.
So then we get a replay of what happened after the Braun and Roman match. I don't know if for you guys that didn't listen to our Payback review or didn't see what happened, Braun tries to attack Roman again as he's trying to get into an ambulance. Roman should just stay away from ambulances from now on. But Roman is able to dodge Braun. Braun wrecks himself and takes out one of the doors to the ambulance. And then
crashing hardcore style into a set of boxes.
Yeah. Those
Home
boxes,
Depot boxes, mind you.
Those boxes were probably full of cinder blocks. And then Roman uses the other door to just basically crush Strowman's head and shoulder. And we find out that Braun has a torn rotator cuff and Reigns has re-injured his shoulder and rib area and even suffered some internal bleeding.
Interesting how a second Shield member has torn another prospect's rotator cuff.
Oh, what was
or
the first
labrum.
time?
Seth Rollins with Finn Balor.
Oh, that's right.
Where's Dean's? Be
Well,
wary, Miz,
as
when you
we'll
wrestle
get to,
Dean.
as we'll get to on this podcast, I think it's obvious that WWE has a vote of no confidence for Dean, and they are sticking him back into his crazy Uncle Dino mode.
Which we'll get
Before
into
they
that
strip
soon,
him
but
of the belt.
I actually loved what they did with Dean.
I thought it was gold, but let's keep moving.
But now we got Enzo versus Gallows. Here comes Enzo and Cass to ruin momentum after a good women's match. Luckily for us, the club attack Enzo and Cass during the promo, and then we get our match. Gallows beats the shit out of Enzo, not surprisingly. And Enzo has a 5-second comeback, which he showed off some pretty good moves and some heart. The kid's got some heart. Come on, Rock. And he gets on the top rope, and Anderson comes in, causes a distraction, and then Gallows just destroys Enzo. We get a little too sweet, and that's basically the match. Enzo did put up some kind of fight, but I love how Corey Graves called out the usual formula to an Enzo and Cass match, a.k.a. that Enzo gets beat up and then they get a hot tag, but Corey was like, oh, well, this is a singles match, so Enzo doesn't have a partner to save him.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah,
I think we all kind of feel that they are moving towards getting rid of Enzo. This has been stated since day one. This has been an issue. He cost them the title shot against the New Day, and let's face it, guys, he's got two modes. Get his ass kicked and get his ass kicked.
But all I know is I'm seeing a cup of haters right here. Is what I'm seeing. I guess you guys must have missed the moment.
A cup of haters?
You guys must have missed the moment when the sky opened up and Burgess Meredith came down saying, "Get up, Enzo, because Mickey loves you." He never got up, but yeah. I did see that moment.
No, look, I love Enzo and Cass. I got nothing against him, but I do feel there is something going on.
He's a great Jimmy Hart. That's all it is. Give him a microphone. Oh, wait, we did. And let him talk for a while. You'll get any 7-foot-tall guy over.
But to be fair, I mean, Cass can talk too. It's one of those...
He can. He can spell, almost.
Stick him with Cesaro at this point, but Cesaro talked, as we'll discuss later. Moving on. Anybody else have a comment on this match?
Nah,
it belongs in the pre-show like it always is. Moving on.
Before we get into Neville and the TJ Perkins promo, I gotta ask, what the fuck is with TJ's shoulder pads?
Wait, hold on. I got questions. Who's TJ Perkins?
Oh, I'm sorry, TJP.
Oh, I know that guy. I have no idea who.
Confused with MCP pants. But yeah, what is with TJP's shoulder pads? I didn't know whether to laugh or hate him.
You let that bugs you, but you let Emma walk clean through Raw
Emma's shoulder pads
with
are
her
not
Vegeta shoulder pads.
okay. Emma's are like
Super Saiyan. I know.
they're
She's
like
a Saiyan warrior. with
there's
her
a
hat
decent
flip.
ratio.
What Dapper is
for
referring
her,
to is
but
the hit
TJPs are
anime
like up
show
to
Dragon
here.
Ball Z because he is a nerd.
TJPs are like ridiculously
Strike
large.
two hits.
Emma's are like reasonable to the size of her body.
Just you wait to the 100 episode reunion.
But TJ calls out Neville for using the ref to get a DQ to keep the belt. Neville does a great job flipping everything though on Perkins and basically says, if you want to fight me, you got to take out Aries. So Neville manipulates naive TJP into doing his dirty work to take care of a double.
Well, just use his name, Austin Aries. A double? What is this?
That's his nickname.
Double A. Oh
No,
no, that's the Four Horsemen.
We're not using that. We're sticking with Austin Aries, who, by the way, I have to say, has one of the most fabulous jackets, and I am amazed when we get to SmackDown that he was not a target of the fashion police.
So before we get the TJP match, we get a Seth Rollins promo. He feels great, blah, 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 getting a sympathy pop from the crowd.
It was very weak.
He calls out Brock. Shocker.
Sure.
But then here comes Finn. And guess those tag teams didn't squash the bad blood between them. Finn deserves a shot before Seth. He was the original title holder after all that, and he technically never lost. He had to relinquish the belt due to injury, which is what Seth gave him. So
Shield member number 2.
Does that mean we're about to get the Demon versus the Freakin'? I don't know what Seth's nickname would be.
Freaking Seth Rollins.
Where do we truthfully see Finn Balor going?
Well,
I see Finn Balor going to the European title thing that they've somehow pasted into the network or NXT apparently.
We can talk about that when we get to the Raw main event.
Having seen the European champion, and this might be a quick tangent, but having seen the European champion in person, live, I'm not impressed. I think he has a shit ton of talent, but I think he is being wasted.
About the UK title?
UK title.
Yeah, the UK title.
Yeah, he's like, isn't he like 19?
I don't know. He looks like
He looks like the type of guy you and I would jump in an alley if we were short $5 for a cab ride home.
Yeah.
Well, okay.
He definitely puts a bad image of the European wrestlers.
I'm gonna.
Now this isn't a personal thing. I thought he was okay in the ring.
Oh,
I think if he was given some enhancement talent, he could be something. But I'm not getting what they're going for with that title. I don't understand why that that championship happened.
Headbutt dude is bigger than him.
Yeah. The fact that if somebody from 205 can whoop your ass, it's problematic.
I honestly have no reference. I haven't really watched him, so we're gonna move on.
I met him in Fort Pierce. He was a giveaway package, and they're like, "We're gonna call Dapper," and I'm like, "Who's the guy?" Jess is like, "That guy." I'm like, "Nope, I'm gonna stay sitting down." Dapper going once, Dapper going twice.
So you passed on a free autograph with the guy, and then when we met him again in Orlando, another total waste of time. By the way, why are we always in Florida? We need to hang out with some actual talent. Let's go to Southpaw Wrestling up in the Carolinas.
That's the only time the club is going to get over.
All right. I'm putting a stop to all this. We got to talk about what actually happened. So Finn comes out and he's talking about how he deserves a match way before Seth does, and it looks like we're about to get a Finn versus Rollins match, but nope. We get Intercontinental Champion Dean Ambrose. Now that's a triple threat to write home about. Finally, Dean getting something to do and starts dropping truth bombs. Fuck Brock, fight me. basically, is what he says, because Brock
It's
isn't
the
here.
only way we can forget that Brock hasn't defended in 30 days.
Yeah, and Dean calls out Brock for being a part-timer and that he's ready to fight anytime, anywhere, and just like the Smackdown belt, the mid-card belt on Raw is the real belt to fight for, essentially. And then we get The Miz. I love how Seth and Finn are just standing there for 5 minutes, by the way, while Dean and The Miz are going back and forth. Miz starts laying into everyone. He calls out Dean for not fighting at Payback, even though that was WWE booking. Miz calls Rollins the one-legged man. And finally, Rollins, Ambrose, and Balor tell Miz to shut the fuck up. And Dean calls Kurt Angle to... He literally calls him, by the way, on his cell phone.
I don't think Kurt was too happy about Dean having his number, by the way.
Yeah.
I wouldn't blame him.
And he calls Angle to make a triple threat match for the #1 contender match. But I don't know if any of you guys noticed. I realized
Dean still didn't fight, even though he said he's a fighting champion.
He sets up the match, but he doesn't fight anybody.
He says, "You should fight me. I'm a fighting champion. I will fight anyone, anytime, any place, anywhere. But I'm going to set up a triple threat so you guys can fight me 3 weeks from now."
So maybe Miz does have a point.
Yeah.
Well, I feel let's just do all of our Dean Ambrose. Did his interviews work with you when he started doing Dean?
Spoiler alert, we're going in order.
All right, if you want to stick to it, but I feel we should just talk about everything with Dean while we got him off.
But it sets up the main event. So if we get into the interviews, then we'd have to go straight to the main event.
All right, so moving on. What's our next match?
So then we get
This
some
is
205
why we
action.
write outlines.
That's what I have, and that's why I'm the host and the smart one.
Much like the same way my beer doesn't have a label on it.
Oh,
I don't read outlines.
Yeah. So we get the Brian Kendrick, Tony Nese, and
No. Where I'm going, I don't need roads.
we get
and I don't need this 205 match. This feels just like a rehash of everything else I've seen them do.
Well, can I at
Thank
least...
you. That's why I don't watch 205.
Can I introduce the match at least before you rip into it?
Yes, everyone else besides the main people.
We get the heels versus the faces. So the Brian Kendrick, Tony Nese, Noam Dar versus Rich Swann, Akira Tozawa, and gentleman Jack Gallagher.
Do you notice
I realized
the fourth guy, Gallagher, is still grouped in with the 205 people, while Neville, Austin Aries, and TJ Perkins, or TJP if you're Jess, kind of come up to the main roster?
I don't know who TJ Perkins is. I believe he died in a car accident years ago and was replaced by his brother, TJP.
Well, I actually think it was a Tron incident. He got trapped in a video game and a doppelganger took his place.
I'll go with that. That is a more perfect story. You clearly should be writing for WWE.
Thank you, Jess. So I just realized,
I'll CC you on my emails.
Nese has a great moveset. I actually really liked it. He's like the strong man on 205. Rich Swann has
the strongest man on 205, which means you're the biggest baby at daycare.
Oh my god.
That should be a WWE show where it's like a bunch of 8-pound kids and like, damn, I heard he was
It's
born
called
weighing
Camp
10
WWE. It's called Camp WWE.
Speaking of which, that motherfucker song on Camp WWE is still on my iPad playlist.
So, the faces win after Swann and Tozawa dive through the ropes, and Gallagher hits the Brian Kendrick with a drop kick, and then we get the 1, 2, 3. Then we get maybe my favorite part of the whole Raw card, which was Cesaro and Sheamus's promo.
Yes.
Yes.
It was
absolutely.
So
yes.
great.
Double yes.
Out come the new heel tag team.
Can we talk about those jackets first off?
I want one of those jackets.
Great jackets. Great jacket.
Was that not straight out of Taxi Cab? That could not have been a more perfect jacket for those two.
And I will say this.
If you know what kind of jackets those are, let us know in the comments.
Yes, and I'm just going to say this. I know a lot of people say Cesaro's not a great talker. That one moment when Sheamus gave him the mic and Cesaro was about to say something. The crowd started speaking. He had that head turned to the side like, really? That look he gave, I'm like, that's a heel. There's a heel in that bald Swiss Superman. I can see it.
I think
greatness.
Just like in the when he got drafted to Raw and he had that shoot interview, I think Cesaro is channeling a little bit of the truth, and he's letting it fly. But so they come out to a mixed reaction. Some people are still cheering them. Sheamus wears his sunglasses at night, apparently.
Of course, he's so white. He's so bright. He's like a light bright.
So they drop a promo about being tired of being overlooked. Sheamus is tired of trying to be a good guy and is glad to get back to his roots. Cesaro at first looks really uncomfortable. He doesn't. I at first thought he didn't really know what to do as far as being a heel. I honestly think he probably just wants a new entrance. But
you don't like the Swiss Superman with the James Bond entrance?
I like the entrance. I don't like the music.
Can we talk about his entrance? He's obviously going for Jason Statham. So why isn't his entrance a car crashing, a transporter style?
Because then he'd have to go flying through the plate of glass like Shane McMahon every time.
He could do it with that kinesio tape.
So
why don't they do the song "Twist and Shout," where it's just him being a twister, spinning different people around on his video intro?
Now Jess needs to write for WWE, except we would not want his ideas to go through.
No,
he should write
stop right there. All of my ideas have been adopted on a superior show known as Smackdown Live, which we are fast heading to.
We'll get there. But poor Cesaro, show. I wanted to throw this out there.
The superior
Cesaro,
show.
He almost gets over, and then he has to go heel. He almost gets over. Anyway, Sheamus goes on to say, although he thought with Cesaro's fans and influence he could turn things around and be a good guy, they together would have their moment at WrestleMania, and that if it weren't for the Hardys' return, they would be champs. And I honestly think he's right. I had Cesaro and Sheamus winning at WrestleMania.
Yep.
I did not know, like everybody else, that the Hardys were going to show up.
I don't think any of us did. I mean, we had tickets to go either see the Hardys or go see another indie show, and we chose not to go see the Hardys just based on where they were located and the drive time. So the fact that they showed up a night after they did an indie show.
A crazy, ladder match with the Young Bucks.
Yeah, nobody saw that coming, that they just would walk up and be like, oh, hey, we're back.
And then we get to the best part of the promo.
Can I just, since we were on that topic, can I just say one thing?
Yeah.
I will never complain about 3-hour Raw ever again because of that damn indie show you brought us to. That was like a WrestleMania-length indie show with people I don't even know.
Should I hold up some of the photos of somebody passed out drunk in their chair? Or the video alone of him passed out, completely gone, going, whoop! Every time there was a pop, putting his hands up and screaming, and then dropping back down and falling asleep.
I honestly wonder who you're talking about, but we can talk about that.
Again, I did not name names. I have simply left that as a vague threat if there is not money in my bank account tomorrow morning.
When we have our WrestleMania experience show, we can definitely go all into that because, yes, we were able to go to WrestleMania this year, and we're saving that podcast for another time. But
a rainy day.
We get
when I don't want to swift kick Jess right in that throat of his.
We get to the best part
Do I need to stomp a mud hole and walk it dry on your candy ass?
Guys, come on. Don't make me feel like Michael Cole here and just ignore me.
I'm only 3 beers in. I will drive over there right now and smack that smile off your face.
Sheriff's Department, you heard it now. Jess had 3 beers and he's gonna drive over here.
And potentially a bottle of wine. So Cesaro...
Are you breaking the timeline again?
That was last week's episode.
Cesaro drops... It was a
Why
day ago.
Why do I write a script? Why?
God, our listeners must hate us. Moving on. Cesaro's great.
drops
Sheamus
some
is
knowledge
great. We love them.
about how the Hardys are just a nostalgia act, and all the crowd wants is a cheap pop from nostalgia or the new rookies, while they ignore the great work that guys like him and Sheamus do.
Yep.
Sheamus and
Bebop and
Cesaro are
Rocksteady.
the bar for the tag team division on Raw. And
Yes, I do believe they've
agree with
raised the
them.
bar. Yeah.
I agree with them 100%.
You got the two stiffest guys on the roster breaking faces. That's all I'm going to say. I love it.
In comes the Hardys. Matt babbles, but in normal Matt voice. So we're still in the kind of sort of broken phase.
Let's just call a spade a spade. He walked out there, he did the motion.
He did the delete, yeah, but he's still talking in his normal voice.
Because WWE is still under negotiations to get the rights to that gimmick.
Yeah. And then Sheamus and Cesaro
Why do we
retreat.
call ourselves Kayfabe's Not Dead?
Because we believe in our heart of hearts that it's not. But we still have to acknowledge the truth. Come on. So then we get a Miz promo. Miz plays mind games and reminds everyone that it was Seth Rollins that injured Finn. While the Miz is looking away, Dean Ambrose shows up and grabs the mic. Dean asks if the Miz gets hair gel in his eyes while fighting, and the Miz just walks off.
As he should. He should not respond to that crazy man. That lunatic in French.
Yeah, he's so wacky and crazy. Then we get
he has a beard. What does that tell you about somebody?
Then we get Heath Slater with Rhino versus Apollo Crews with Titus O'Neil.
I gotta go into something a little personal. Heath Slater. Is he ever gonna get another shirt? I want to support the shit out of him, but I feel like it would be mad mojo, bad like voodoo if I bought a shirt that said, "I need this job. I have kids."
It would be so perfect for you, though.
It would be perfect, given my job and given I do have a kid. Going on kids, possibly, considering what happens with that. Moving on.
Footage from earlier shows Apollo Crews talking with Slater, and Rhino's eating away at his crackers. I guess that's Rhino's new
Rhino is so underrated right now.
Rhino's new
I
gimmick
love
is
what they are
cracker
doing
eater.
with him, though.
He's just stuffing his face, too.
Because he's the definition of ECW.
Yeah.
It's awesome. I love him.
Titus O'Neil,
I voted for him.
He interrupts and asks what the fuck is going on. I guess that's as good as any reason to have a match. Booker T completely misses Michael Cole's question about what sets Crews apart from the other superstars. And meanwhile, we get a pretty even match. The crowd starts to randomly boo, probably about something happening in the stands. If you actually watch, like, all the crowd, like the people in the crowd, you can actually watch like people turn to like face away from the ring. So I guess something was happening.
Probably because there was a better match going on in the stands.
The announcers don't acknowledge
I want to
it.
interject. Apollo Crews, I do feel is a talent. I don't think anything's working though.
He is a talent on 205.
I don't feel putting him with the Titus brand is working 100%. I feel the gimmick is still missing something.
He's
going to follow suit with Darren Young.
How dare you? Darren Young is a national treasure, and he is currently out on injury.
Is that what they call it? Is that what the kids are calling it nowadays? Injury? I call it a layoff.
Crews finally takes control.
Hey, he needs this job. He can't have kids.
he hits an Enzuigiri into a sit-out powerbomb, which I think is a pretty
That's
sweet
why
finisher.
he can't have kids.
Enzuigiri powerbomb.
And then at the end of the match, we get Rhino photobombing Titus and Cruz's selfie.
That's why I love Rhino.
Rhino is pretty great. Oh, and I think people were chanting gore, by the way.
Yeah. He reminds me
ECW
of a
just won't die.
50-year-old CJ, is what he reminds me of.
That's a pretty close description.
You too could run for mayor or governor or whatever he ran for.
Oh,
The
so
governor.
we kind of spoiled it earlier, but we get a report on Braun and Reigns' condition. Kurt Angle comes out and just lets us know that it was the most brutal match he's ever seen. What about Angle and Shane O'Mac's match?
I was gonna say, hasn't he seen actual murders take place?
Yeah, like buried alive matches and shit. Dapper, are there any other crazy spots or matches that Angle's been in? Not alone just seen, but the ones
The
he's
man
been in.
the man who's broken his neck 11 times.
Yeah,
Has
but
he been
that-
in a more intense
that was-
match than a pre-recorded backstage segment where a car door fell off?
What do you
I
mean that was
feel
pre-recorded?
that every time Jess mentions Kurt Angle's broken neck, it breaks 3 more times.
He doesn't have a neck anymore. If you actually like look at him now, his neck is like.
Where I'm currently located, we've been under a tornado warning for the last 4 days. I feel that stiff breeze that's been blown is enough to break his neck at this point.
I live down the street from you. I haven't got these warnings.
So, like I said before, Braun apparently tore his rotator cuff. That's a pretty nasty injury. Like that's usually a baseball injury, but
I believe we brought it up last week. It's about a 6 to 8 month heal time, given all the details.
all right. Just for our podcast listeners out there that are wondering, and just to clarify, it's impossible for it to be a week. We talked about Payback, and then we talked about Raw, which is literally the same week. It's been a day.
Look, I know the traditional Roman calendar counts Sunday as the beginning of the week, but let's face facts.
It's
We're,
last week.
we're Americans. Sunday was last week. Monday is the start of the week.
Okay. Enter spooky Bray Wyatt.
Oh my God, is he not the spookiest?
Announcers talk about how
He's spookier on Camp WWE with his trouser rat.
Yeah.
announcers talk about how
Shameless plug for Camp WWE. Everybody should watch that.
Okay.
It's the best Bray Wyatt promos he ever did, and it's not even him.
I love how the announcers talk about how it was like the strangest, most unorthodox and bizarre matches ever. But
it wasn't scary.
He did drop a refrigerator on Orton. Kurt doesn't even know what the fuck to do. Bray goes on to rabble about how Orton is trapped in his house of horrors. I'm assuming he means metaphorically, since Orton literally was in the ring during Payback.
You of course corrected yourself, but no, he's talking in a metaphysical sense.
Yeah, metaphysical sense too.
As I will do a breakdown of Bray's evolution from straight up Bayou
Jobber to superstar Jobber.
Bayou voodoo black magic into the Lovecraftian realm, as we will recount a pivotal moment in his transition would be the dropping of the fridge onto Randy Orton, which is clearly a reference to Cool Air by H.P. Lovecraft.
And if you want to hear more about Jess's
randomness.
Jess's
theory of the evolution of Bray Wyatt into the Cthulhu mythos.
Because you grow a beard and dreadlocks does not mean you're not Husky Harris.
Well, check
My
out
God, are they related? They do look alike now that you've said it.
We'll have a 10-part series breakdown on Bray's
Just
evolution.
because Husky Harris stopped
Jess.
showering doesn't mean he's any better.
I'd like to bring this up to our local historian. Is Husky Harry also related to Bo Dallas? Because that man could make me believe anything.
Husky Harry, it's not. Husky Harris is.
Oh, screw you.
Now, okay, so because Bray literally says
is
that
why
he's trapped in the House of Horrors.
I'm the champion.
Oh my God.
This is fucking ridiculous. My belt is coming back to my house.
Backlash cannot come soon enough, so one of us gets that belt away from you. All right, so you made Jess walk off. Thanks, Dapper. That's 1/3 of our entire show, and we still have Smackdown to talk about.
I can still get Macho on the line.
Anyway, Wyatt has come to Raw as a savior. He is reborn as someone who hopefully isn't a jobber. I mean,
oh no, he will always be a jobber.
I mean, Reborn as an angle that has come to fix, or as an angel, Jesus, I can't even read my own handwriting, that has come to fix everyone.
Sounds very familiar to the Chris Jericho Y2K.
Yeah, he's come to save everyone. Um, Dean interviews Seth Rollins about the main event. I gotta say, I'm loving Ambrose as an interviewer. Definitely. Oh my God, he came back.
Gotta love that security gate, Jess.
So
I'll figure out your code.
So Jess, we're talking about Dean interviewing Seth. Seth has no idea what's going on. Dean pitches some names, including dishing the dirt daily with dirty Dean Ambrose. That's 5 Ds, by the way. Dean asks if Seth is good enough to take the IC belt from him. They go back and forth in third person, and then Dean kicks it back to the Gorilla.
Yep. Back to you, Gorilla Monsoon.
I have to say the segment did work for me. I do think Ambrose is good. I just feel that he is being a jobber at this point.
Well,
he's the best color commentator they have.
During the last part of that promo, it did get a little intense because it referenced Seth's betrayal of the Shield. He said Dean says something to the effect that like, "Oh, I only get tricked once."
Yes, no, he definitely referenced it. They've also wrestled a program previously in which Dean gender mahaled the belt and took it, and fight ensued, and Ambrose sat in the crowd with boxed popcorn and taunted Seth with the belt that he stole, and various other, shenanigans took place. But ultimately, I feel this is just setting up for a rematch so Dean can lose the belt, Seth can get it, and a program can start between Seth and somebody more talented. Which is crazy to me because, quite frankly, I believe Ambrose is one of the best talents they have. It truly seems as though something happened backstage and they have lost confidence in him.
Vince McMahon
got
thinks he's dirty. I don't know.
Perhaps he just wasn't willing to take another weed whacker to the face. We will never know.
So then we get the Austin Aries versus TJP match. WWE is really trying to make me hate TJ Perkins. First it's the shoulder pads. Now it's the new name. TJ Perkins, a.k.a. TJP. I'm going to say it both times, Jess.
I've never heard of this TJ Perkins. I've been watching the Cruiserweight Championship and 205 Live since the beginning. I've never once heard of this man.
Then you are the only one that has been watching 205 since the beginning.
I think TJP does need a new entrance for this heel turn.
Yes, most definitely. You cannot have the most poppy, bubblegum, awesome entrance if you are a heel.
I did notice, though, I don't know if you guys saw, but on
they have dropped everyone else's name out.
Yeah, the character select. Yeah, they dropped 3. I think it was down to Sin Cara and Rich Swann.
Is Sin Cara? No, it's not Sin Cara on there. It's the.
There's a Lucha.
Yeah. There was a what?
Yeah, Lucha. Austin Aries controls most of the match until he gets hung up in the corner. TJP takes advantage and targets the knee. We cut to commercial. When Raw comes back, TJ dabs, and everybody in the world hates him 5% more. Austin Aries sells the knee really well, and they get locked in a one-legged Boston Crab on the top rope, which that was a really cool spot.
Mm-hmm. He's like, it was a solid match. Like I've said, I believe 205 is slowly improving, but I still just don't give a shit.
Well, the crowd...
I never have and never will.
Well, I like 205, so I'm going to finish the wrap-up. After the crowd gives Aries some energy, he does a suicide dive and then lands a gut buster into an STO into the pendulum elbow, that little 3-hit combo he does. Elbow off the top rope to the back of TJ's head, but Perkins kicks out. TJP lands some quick strikes, and then Austin Aries lands a shin breaker into a back suplex. Aries goes
just
for the
in, ladies and gentlemen who watch us on YouTube, you've now just witnessed what goes on inside Bray Wyatt's mind.
Aries goes for the discus 5-arm, but TJP plays possum and keeps focusing on the knee. Eventually, TJP tries to land the detonation kick, but gets countered into the last chancery, and TJP taps. After the match, TJP attacks Double A's knee and fucks him up. I think the WWE wants Aries to always be injured. Literally every time Aries is trying to get some momentum, he gets hurt. And are you done?
Sadly, that is more entertaining than 205.
Are you done with this 205 nonsense?
Okay, commenters, let us know if you like 205 or not. I like it, so I'm going to keep talking about it because I'm the host and this is my show, goddammit.
Haven't you deleted every comment that's been posted?
By you, yes. So then we get Dean Ambrose interrupting Balor on his way to the ring. Balor isn't nervous and he's ready to kick some ass. Dean offers him a donut.
If you saw what the
and the drifter keeps
video
drifting.
is, it's like, huh?
The drifter keeps drifting, and apparently he doesn't know Pearl Jam because Dean's like, "Hey man, play some Pearl Jam."
He only knows one song.
Yeah,
it's the drifter song.
Three chords. Is that his entrance, by the way? Is that his entrance music when he does fight?
Yes.
I hope so.
A few times he fights. Yes.
A handful of times I have seen him on NXT in person. I have to say, I'm just lost at this gimmick. I have no idea where it is going.
Point.
That's the point. You're supposed to hate him because he's a drifter.
I just don't give a shit.
Guys, I wanna get a round table.
Okay.
Is that the first carb that Finn Balor has eaten in a year?
Possibly. Are you referring to his tight abs?
Well, I'm referring to the donut he took a bite out of. And do you think he threw up because of all the sugar?
I have to believe that the fires of hell from which Balor emerges burns off most of these calories.
That's as good as exercise regimen as anything. Moving on, we got the Golden Truth ask Angle for a match against the Hardys. Kurt says no, but the Golden Truth convinces Angle to create a tag team tournament or some sort of match to determine the new #1 contender. Got to assume that Cesaro and Sheamus or the club are going to get that.
You cannot just say the Golden Truth without singing their entire song.
Oh, please enlighten me.
No.
I don't deserve it?
You have failed us.
I did want to call you and let you know that, look, Jess, someone else bought the Golden Truth t-shirt. Oh, yes, wait, it's Gold Dust.
Apparently myself and I am not the only ones who bought that shirt.
No, Gold Dust was given it.
So then we get our main event, which was, I thought, could be easily a pay-per-view match. Miz runs away at the start of the match, and Balor and Rollins grapple. And whenever Miz tries to enter, Seth and Finn break it up and turn on the Miz. Eventually, Miz gets confronted by Seth and Finn and pleads with one side to go with him and fight the other. Eventually, Seth and Finn attack the Miz, and he gets thrown out of the ring twice. Seth takes a nasty drop kick from Finn. Miz then drops Balor onto the side of the apron. Miz takes a shot from Seth and then uses Maurice as a human shield. He always uses that. I'm waiting for Maurice to turn him around.
He's a heel.
I know, but
that is why he's the best intercontinental champion they have.
He is more so the face of America than anyone else.
Well, he's not Canadian.
He's the face of the Marine Corps is what he is.
Yeah.
He has 4 Marine movies under his belt.
So, Miz uses
Don't do the
Maurice
math.
as a human shield until Seth gets the drop on him. Miz throws Seth from the top rope. Rollins lands hard. Cut to commercial. We come back, and we're shown a replay of the triple clothesline that takes out all 3 guys. That was a pretty cool spot. Miz puts Balor to sleep briefly and takes the match over. Seth interrupts by doing a crossbody. It kind of looks like Balor reversed it into a slam. Did you guys see that? I don't know if it was like a botch. It was kind of weird.
I think it was planned, personally. Because I think Finn Balor's that good.
Miz uses
That he
Rollins.
purposely botched a move?
Yes. Just
Miz,
like JoJo purposely botched the word disqualification.
Something we did not bring up in our previous episode about the Payback pay-per-view is multiple announcers botched the words disqualification into just a garbled, unrecognizable word that means nothing. And we are still confused as to what the hell they were trying to
because
pass on.
WWE forgets their own disqualification rules half the time.
What?
Yeah.
No way.
I think Miz uses Rollins to slam into Balor, and then the best spot of the night happens after Miz does some yes kicks. Rollins puts Miz into a headlock, and then Balor drop kicks Rollins. Rollins lands backward and hits the DDT. It was like a triple setup kind of move. Miz and Rollins get thrown out of the ring, and then Balor destroys the Miz with a standing kick. So then Balor lands what Corey Graves called the 1916. Do you guys know what that is? It's the first time I've heard of it.
No.
He gets the near fall. I think that should be Finn's new finisher. I don't really like the coup de grace. I think
You don't like the giant curb stomp?
Well, it doesn't look hard. I'm not saying it is not hard to land, especially so that you don't break the other guy's ribs for real. But on TV, it's just
Yeah. I agree.
Miz does heel things by targeting Seth's bad knee. Everyone kicks each other, and Seth gets a near fall on Finn. Seth then lands a double blockbuster off the top rope. And then a frog splash on Balor. The Demon somehow kicks out. Miz tries to take advantage, but Seth counters into a superplex off the top rope into a Falcon Arrow. And that Falcon Arrow is money every time.
Yes.
Yeah, solid move, solid execution.
And then Seth does a suicide dive on one end to Balor, and then on the other side into Miz. Seth is looking great, especially after Payback. This is the best I've seen of him personally. And then it looks like he's about to win, but then Samoa Joe enters the fray and beats down Rollins. The announcers conveniently tell the announcers then conveniently tell us that it was a no DQ match.
Of course.
Is that normal for triple threats?
No. Well, yeah, I guess so, yeah.
During the confusion, Balor lands a clothesline onto the Miz. I think you can actually hear Miz go, "Oh shit," audibly on the broadcast. And then we get a drop kick into the other corner. And right when it looks like Balor's going to do the coup de grace, none other than Bray Wyatt shows up and throws Finn off the top rope and then hits him with a Sister Abigail. Miz crawls on him and gets the pin. Like I said before, this was a pay-per-view quality match, and that was my play-by-play.
Can I just say, now I know our fans and our viewers aren't going to be able to watch this podcast that me and CJ did a while back about our predictions, but CJ, did I not say that if Samoa Joe beat Seth Rollins, he could have done the promo of, "I am the destroyer, I will always be there to kick you down," let Seth Rollins kind of start to get up, kick him down, walk away. This would have fit perfectly in that storyline of Seth Rollins going for a number one contender match for the Intercontinental title, and right before he's about to pull it off, Samoa Joe beats him down.
Well, Jess was talking about, when we first started talking about Raw, he was talking about, setting up the feuds, and that's why I wanted to hold off until we talked about this match, because it looks like the three feuds we're getting are Miz and Dean, which, say what you will, they've done it before, but I think it's always good from what I've seen.
It's stereotypical and textbook to make Miz the number one Intercontinental champion with 16-time champion. I don't even know what number he's at, but he's probably got to be the highest.
Then we get the continuation.
He main evented a WrestleMania, I will have you know.
He did. Same. Didn't Dolph Ziggler main event one?
Yes. Everyone with the title belt has main evented a
But
WrestleMania.
but so yeah, we're getting the continuation of Miz and Dean Ambrose. We're getting the continuation of Joe and Seth Rollins, which was what you were talking about. And then we
Yes.
get what I think is going to be the most intriguing one, Finn and Bray. Now, what I want to know is, what's Bray's angle? Is he going to try to do a is he going to try to pull the demon out of
Yes. He's going to
Finn?
bring the demon out because we haven't really seen the demon since Seth Rollins did it. And then he got hurt for forever and put on the shelf.
And I'm really interested to see where that feud goes, because I'm a Bray mark. I want Bray to do good. I know he, like you say, Hodap, he finds a way to job out all the time.
All of the buzzards.
What do you think about the match and the feuds, Jess?
I'm okay with it, to be honest with you, which surprised me because I truthfully feel Raw has been the weaker show since the brand split.
I agree.
Yep.
I think
I just
SmackDown
don't
has
want
told
them to
tighter
screw up my
stories.
storyline.
But when all was said and done Monday, I have to think this was a pretty solid Raw. Going into Tuesday, we'll have to talk about it. But
I thought this was the best Raw in a while, by far.
By far, no doubt.
I just hope they don't screw up my storyline of an amazing year build-up to a Samoa Joe, Seth Rollins payoff.
I think it's going to last until SummerSlam at least.
It probably will, because why would we make a storyline last more than 6 weeks?
Sometimes I wish I could just make you muted.
So moving on, we get to SmackDown.
I'm going to take this belt and cave in your skull.
Oh, so you took some. Come
on, Calperone. Anytime you're ready.
You followed Jinder Mahal's strategy, huh?
No, unlike Jinder Mahal, I earned this belt.
Oh, did you?
Unlike Jess, I earned this belt.
Yeah.
Jess has in his garage is a half-ass signed Daniel Bryan autograph action figure.
We're gonna move on to SmackDown.
On a background episode, we will talk about my intense hatred of Daniel Bryan for what he has done to me. But we are moving on for now to a superior show because it is Tuesday night and we are talking SmackDown Live, ladies and gentlemen.
Can I just say, we will talk about his hatred for Daniel Bryan in a future episode. Just to intrigue you, if you remember Anchorman, Jess is Will Ferrell, Daniel Bryan was Jack Black. That's all I'm going to say. That happened. I witnessed it. It hurt to watch. It was hilarious.
We will talk about it on another podcast, but starting off the night, let's talk about SmackDown Live. And my boy, the number one contender, Jinder Mahal. Holding that belt like we know he will be in a couple of weeks after the pay-per-view.
He's posing for some pictures. Shane interrupts to let Jinder know that he's finding the underdog from the underground, Sami Zayn.
Who?
The guy who beat Samoa Joe. You don't remember?
I'm sorry. I don't remember most gingers with questionable belief systems.
Hey.
Oh, just the Mahal ones.
He is a fine, outstanding member of the Sheik Nation.
He's Canadian.
Shane then takes the belt back. And then Shane then comes out to address the crowd, and he introduces the new United States champion, Chris Jericho.
Yes.
Y2J has some fun with the crowd and welcomes everyone to the show of Jericho. Smack it down, man!
Smack it down, man. He is always dynamite on the mic. Is there ever a bad Jericho promo?
Honestly, I think you could. There is a solid argument to make that he is the GOAT because of his longevity.
Yes. He's right up there next to Undertaker and Kane. And Triple H.
Shane lets him know that he's going to have to defend the U.S. title against KO tonight. But then the phenomenal one, AJ Styles, comes out to a huge pop. Once again, AJ is stuck being like the true number one contender, but he doesn't get to fight. The crowd starts chanting. I'm sorry. Shane lets him know, or I'm getting all screwed up. AJ reminds everyone about how they were a tag team and that they had Y2AJ shirts, which I need to get.
Yes, for the 1 week they were together, they put out the shirts.
The greatest tag team ever. And then he says he wants to face Y2J at Backlash, though he doesn't know if he can beat KO tonight. Right when Jericho is about to put AJ on the list, KO comes out. His entrance is still declaring him the face of America. And I don't know if you noticed, but when the camera goes low, KO has a fat-ass face. It is not flattering at all when the camera goes low on that giant picture of his
because he
face.
shaved his beard.
That doesn't help. The crowd starts chanting, "You tapped out." But KO doesn't care. Nothing matters until the main event tonight, since he's going to win the U.S. title back. KO then tells AJ to get out of his ring, and he is about to yell at Shane. AJ runs at KO and attacks him. AJ beats the crap out of KO until the refs somehow break it up. Jericho watches on and does commentary. Beat him up, man. So yeah, what'd you guys think of the opening promo?
I thought it was
Loved
good.
it. Loved it. SmackDown's always solid, man. I can't say a bad word about it.
3 great wrestlers, 3 great entertainers, and 3 great promos in that ring.
I
don't
gotta
count
say,
Shane McMahon.
I really can't wait to see the AJ KO feud. It's gonna be amazing. WWE can't even screw it up, right?
Well, that's what we all thought, but then we had the gobbledygooker.
How dare you talk that way? There was also a Funkadactyl.
There were 2 more.
Do you guys think Jericho's more over now than in his prime?
Yes, I do. I think he's more over now as the just randomness that he says.
If his clipboard is selling on the site right now for $34,
That's insane.
I have to believe, seeing as it is a top-selling item, he is over.
So then we get a random Shinsuke video, and apparently he isn't going to fight till Backlash. I, for one, am glad they're hyping him up, but for fuck's sake, can we please see him fight?
No,
this
he
is
is
how you got
a world-class performer. He has to be held back until the pay-per-view.
We can't see what that is.
I know, it's awesome, though. It's a zombie Stone Cold Steve Austin action figure.
Apparently they're calling
with a smoking skull head.
Apparently the announcers are calling him the artist now.
The artist formerly known as Shinsuke?
No, I don't even know what the hell they're trying to do, but they should just
he
call
is
him
an
the
artiste.
King of Strong. He should be the King of Strong Style, goddammit.
He is. He is the king of strong style.
I would just like to point out that not one of us is wearing a strong style t-shirt, nor have any of us ever.
I wore it on the last podcast.
I'm sorry.
7 weeks ago.
I'm sorry.
After commercial,
I must not be one of you Bud Light unsophisticated drinkers. I am here with a fine wine, sitting back, discussing the finer points of sweaty men in a ring.
Sir,
bumping heads.
If we're talking about drinks,
says the guy in a Lucha Dragon t-shirt.
And,
speaking of
please
Lucha,
don't sue us. After commercial, we get the announcement that Shane O'Mac has banned AJ from the ring during the KO Jericho match. And then
I would like to interject real quick on this. Just something that I truly feel was a standout moment for SmackDown. The rules. They have fucking rules. I don't know how great it is to actually be like, oh, hey, Baron Corbin hit a ref. He's fined and disqualified for a week. Oh, hey, AJ Styles seems like a dick. We're going to ban him from ringside.
Or he seems like the best wrestler, and he's going to beat both of them.
Yes, that is not a dig on AJ Styles. Hold your hate mail. I love the guy. I would suck his dick if he was here. But the point remains.
Wow. I thought
do I
this
hear a
was our-
knocking at Jess's door?
I thought
Oh, hey,
this was
Darren
our
Young.
PG version.
Look, just because Darren Young and I have the same taste does not mean that AJ Styles is any less beautiful.
So right after we get the announcement, we get the Sami Zayn versus Jinder Mahal match. As
The
Sami
number one
enters the
contender.
ring, as Sami enters the ring, we get a replay of Baron Corbin attacking Sami during Talking Smack, which is what you just referenced. Corbin is suspended for a week for pushing the ref, not for attacking Sami, but for pushing the ref.
Well, nobody cares about Sami Zayn. I mean, he's a disgrace. He should be removed from the roster and fined all the money he has possibly earned from WWE for just being
That's
such
what
an
I said about
embarrassment.
Jinder Mahal from the very first time he was part of 3MD.
And this
How-
is why.
How
this is why
dare
Jess
you
is the
talk that way about Hard Body Mahal? Have you seen that?
I'm sorry. I have to keep the glasses on because my championship gold is so bright.
We get some meta commentary with the announcers talking about how if Jinder loses, this would hurt his momentum going into Backlash, and Sami takes control.
Are we doing this for a whole month?
Yes.
Are we
I
doing
hope
that?
not.
Yes.
We're just gonna not invite Dapper to the next show.
No, this is how WWE should build up.
That's how easily
Pay-per-view.
you can be replaced. We will have The Miz here next week to talk about how great he is and how much he loves the French culture.
If
As
you
do
replace
I,
me,
on Shantae
I will
Shuri.
take all of my gits with me and start my own podcast of awesomeness.
So after commercial, Jinder
And
tries
it will
to
be
set up.
Kayfabe's really, really not dead.
Jinder after commercial tries to set up the superplex off the top rope, but Sami counters with a headbutt.
My mic.
Sami tries to land something off the top rope, but Jinder runs out of the way and then counters with a vicious knee to the head, it looked pretty stiff. After
No, there's no doubt about the performance talent. As much as I hate on Sami Zayn, he can sell. He can sell the fact that he is a wimp and he gets his ass beat constantly. I don't feel it is a stretch. I don't feel that it is him going outside of his personal life experience. But he gets his ass beat like there is no tomorrow.
Well, I think
Jinder Mahal standing strong, being the number one contender like he should be.
I think it's a safe assumption that this was Jess's favorite part of the match. So after a near fall, Jinder literally just starts slapping Sami around.
Is this the first time Jinder Mahal actually won a match, too?
No, obviously he won a match to get here.
Yeah, he got the number
Was
one.
it, or was it the Bollywood Boys?
We're getting
Speaking
there.
of the
We're
Bollywood
getting
boys,
there.
the name change I will go into briefly is actually due to the fact that Bollywood is a fun, upbeat place, and other parts in India are a little more militant and serious. That is the cause for their name change.
Well, and
You sure it was because Jinder Mahal is not from India, and he tagged with the Bollywood Boys, and they're like, oh, wait, we forgot there's actually countries over there that aren't the same.
I'm saying they did a good job of fact-checking themselves and ensuring that kayfabe is not dead. And Hard
6
Body Mahal
weeks
is
later.
God's gift to wrestling fans all around the world.
He is Allah's gift. God's gift.
He's chic. He's not a filthy Muslim like Sami Zayn.
Oh my God. We at Kayfabe's Not Dead do not endorse anything that Jess has said on this podcast.
No.
He is the
And
heel.
we, as the longest reigning pay-per-view champion, do not support what Jess has said. That is why the title is at its true home over here on this shoulder.
Right when it looks
In
like Sami...
22 days, when that belt is sitting here back around my waist, the man who paid for it
Is right here.
All right. Anyway. Right
With
when
blood,
it looks
sweat,
like,
tears.
right when it looks like Sami is taking control, Sunil Singh jumps onto the outside of the canvas and distracts Sami. Jinder rolls Sami for 2, but then Sami rolls Jinder for a near fall. Sami lands one of my favorite moves, the Tornado DDT, and then sets up the Haluva kick. Right before he connects, Sunil pulls Jinder out of the ring. Apparently that's not a DQ. I mean, because the ref literally saw him do it. Sammy goes for the
The ref was obviously distracted by Hard Body Mahal.
I mean, aren't we all?
Wouldn't you?
Aren't we all?
I think he's distracted by the not so hard parts of Jinder Mahal. You know, the ones hanging from his
If you dare
chest.
to bring up those perfect tits, I will smack you.
Guys,
They're hanging lower than a 90-year-old.
Let's
He is not on roids. I do not care what your degree tells you about people's physiques and whether or not they are on drugs.
We'll settle this after the podcast.
In 22
We still
days.
got a lot of SmackDown
when I
to
put
go
the belt
through.
up for the line.
Sammy goes, the distraction lets Jinder hit the Cobra Clutch Power Slam. Is that what because it was like
Nobody
kinda like
cares about Sami Zayn. He lost the match like he's going to lose every inch.
I'm saying
That's
that's
Jinder
what
Mahal's finisher.
Yeah, that's
the
Jinder's
stolen
finisher.
Cobra Clutch into a power slam.
Yeah. And he gets the 3 count. So
I am
I
just
think
so
you
mad
probably
we're still
forgot
talking
that the
about
Cobra
a glorified ginger jobber who worships Allah
Are you
named
talking
Sami
about
Zayn.
me or Sami Zayn?
I feel like you're talking about
CJ.
Jinder Mahal.
Which way's Mecca?
I feel like he's talking about Jinder Mahal.
So then
Wow.
we get
I'm
Becky
just adding
Lynch.
to the list.
Oh, you don't add me to the list. I add you to the list.
I will add you to the list of vintage Jericho.
Oh my god. No. Put that back up. I want the commenters to tell us who the hell does that look like?
It's obviously
Jericho. It looks
all
to
I
me
see
like
is
the Lex
Rico.
Luger action figure that they wrote Jericho on his boot.
Pretty much. So then we get Becky Lynch and the new women's stable. Are they called the Welcoming Committee, I guess?
Yes, they are just owning it. They are the welcoming committee out of every possible name, given who's on that team. They went with the welcoming committee.
Becky Lynch runs into her favorite superstars backstage. Natalya, Carmella, Tamina, and James Ellsworth. Natalya
He's
tries
the best
Can we just
diva
talk
out
about the
there.
fact that Ellsworth is still on TV, still collecting a paycheck, and Darren
Hey.
Young is MIA?
You know what? More power to him. That no-neck freak somehow found a way to become
Chin.
a parasite.
No chin.
No chin.
No chin or neck.
Slow.
I do have to comment
No
on
talent, no nothing.
this. Is the tattoo on his arm, as a fellow fan of Japanese culture, is that the Gurren Lagann logo or is that the Offspring logo? Because I can't tell them apart.
It's the
It's a
Offspring.
band.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
It's identical.
Natalia tries to
is
defend
why
them.
I have this.
Oh my god.
And you don't.
I already hate that we're doing that for our predictions. And it's been 2 podcasts. Natalya tries to defend them by saying Becky should be the #1 contender, and that they want her to team with them so that they can make it their division. However, Becky says she's gonna think about it.
Is it bad that I can just see the hate boiling in Jess's eyes?
We're gonna have to get
I
a
will
police
have
to
my
that.
own belt made out of tinfoil and cardboard next week, and I will slap that smug ass smile off your face.
So then we get
3 weeks from now, per new prediction, is CJ will chime in, Dapper will chime in with the belt, Jess just hanging upside down like Bray Wyatt in his little haunted house.
Coming back from commercial, we have
I cannot
Shinsuke.
screen cap it any clearer. You both saw it was clearly Bray Wyatt, not curtains hanging from a window. Go back to episode 2, 3. Who gives a shit?
This is episode 3. So coming back from commercial, we get the Shinsuke promo. We see the Zigmeister himself isn't having any of it. Ziggler complains on how Shinsuke isn't in Fresno tonight and hasn't even had a match yet, and he's getting a videotape package.
Well, I think the
That's what I
real
would say.
point of interest is who the hell were all those people backstage?
Right? I think they're just like
That
the
wasn't
4
even
fans of
enhancement
Ziggler.
talent. It was like, oh, hey, here's a guy we found in the crowd dressed a little nice. Bring him back here.
Well, I think he's actually joining the Miz in heels that aren't technically wrong. When Shane O'Mac interrupts, he tells Dolph that Shinsuke already introduced himself, but Ziggler doesn't care. He mockingly says that Shinsuke's entrance was really impressive, but not as impressive as what he's going to do to the Lucha himself, Sin Cara.
The Blue Sin Cara number 3.
All right, let's just get this out of the way. That was clearly not Sin Cara number 42. That was now Sin Cara number 45. 40 obviously died on his way to the ring. They put him in a full bodysuit. This Sin Cara gained 6 inches and 40 pounds. Can we just get that out of the way? This was obviously
he looked a little bigger.
He looked like shit.
Hey, I did the best I could, man. I did the best I could.
Ty
on such short
Dillinger
notice.
versus the greatest heel of all time.
I wasn't able to get the
Aiden
full arm
English.
sleeve.
No, I hear you loud and clear. I remember when I filled in for El Luchadora.
Oh, I thought when CJ was Druid number 7.
No, I was one of the Wyatt family members.
Oh yeah, you're the little goat one.
Then we get Aiden in the ring trying to sing to the crowd until he's interrupted by the Perfect 10.
Yes.
Ty Dillinger. Say what you will about English, but he does have some good nicknames. Let's see. We got the Maestro of Mayhem, the Picasso of Pain, and the Rembrandt of Rage. Pretty clever.
I was good with this segment until it went backstage after the match
Oh
finished,
my god!
and he started crying. I could not help but feel for the guy, given what his career has become.
And he made the list.
Man,
So did Renee.
He's either a really good actor or he was really really upset.
Speaking of Renee, should we just talk about those extensions not working?
No, he was a Broadway thespian in real life.
The one thing I wanted to ask about the Ty Dillinger match, what the hell is that finisher called? It's like a fireman carry into a knee to the face?
That's exactly what it is. It's called the fireman knee to the face.
Very technical name. Apparently he's super over because the crowd already has like 10 signs.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, no, Ty Dillinger is great. He is easily one of the best talents they've had in NXT since the beginning of NXT, truthfully. And they have just never moved him up for whatever reason.
Do you think this feud has any legs, or is this not a feud?
I think this is a one and done.
Yeah,
I
English
think
is just
this is
going to
an
keep jobbing.
enhancement match. And he's a jobber until Simon Gotch comes back and the Vaudevillains make a reprieve.
Jess is going to hate me for saying this, but I actually had an idea watching this. I think
equal rights between men and women should never happen. You should just drop that idea right now.
Oh, God.
I was
we
actually going to say...
We have now found the heel of our podcast.
I think Aiden English could team up with Kurt Hawkins.
He could.
Perfect.
They could job
Except he's on Raw.
Yeah, but I mean, besides that, I mean, I think they could, if they were on the same show. They look kind of similar. They have the same
Since 205
kind of
records 30 seconds after SmackDown goes off the air, he should also team with anybody from 205.
Yeah. So then we get a Jericho.
Maybe somebody British with an umbrella. I'll leave it at that.
Yeah. Jericho is about to start an interview when Aiden walks by crying like a little bitch. There's no crying on SmackDown, and Jericho puts him on the list. Ronnie also gets put on the list, and it looks like she's about to laugh at Aiden when she leaves. I mean, I can't
just
remember,
felt this was kicking a man when he was down, and
has
it
anybody
got
else
uncomfortable.
cried like that in WWE history that wasn't like a Hall of Fame inductee?
Shawn Michaels when he had to retire Ric Flair.
Roman Reigns when he realized his career was over after beating The Undertaker.
No, Reigns managed to make it backstage before he quickly shot himself, and they replaced him with whoever that current guy is, all bandaged up.
So then we get the Charlotte Flair interview into the tag match. The Queen declares that no matter what the committee does, they can't stop the inevitable.
Can't stop the magic.
Yeah. The Queen is on SmackDown and she's going to reign. She doesn't care about tag teaming with Naomi. She only wants her destiny. which is the championship belt, when suddenly the welcoming committee arrives and attacks her.
Don't you love? You want to know why I believe Alexa Bliss is the best heel? Because it didn't take Charlotte more than just tag teaming with Naomi, who's a face, a recognized face, to now she's a face. Well, that's how memorable her heel run was.
I wanted to get your guys' opinion on this, because I thought the beatdown was really mild. It didn't look that bad.
No, it was definitely a relatively light beatdown in terms of beatdowns, but I feel the problem is
more of a dusting. More of a dusting.
People love Charlotte. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. She gets a pop anywhere she goes. She is the queen. She's just the best.
Well, she gets the sympathy.
She's the best on SmackDown. I'll leave it at that. Alexa Bliss is probably the only talent that is better than her.
Well, I was gonna say this something similar.
She's second to none, and it's hard to have a heel when everybody loves them.
Yeah, because I was gonna say I guess they couldn't go full Braun with the beatdown because people actually like Charlotte, unlike Roman, and they still had a match, which was apparently right after, because out comes Naomi glowing like a Christmas tree at a rave. Naomi kicks. To start the match sounded pretty stiff. Like, her kicks are definitely the best part of her offense. Carmella is screeching to the ref, and my ears were literally bleeding. I don't know if you guys heard her like yelling over on the mics. Naomi does a good job holding her own, but eventually the 2-on-1 starts to take its toll, and Natalya and Carmella take full control in the match until Charlotte Flair shambles into the match, really selling the beatdown. I was surprised it wasn't Becky Lynch. I thought Becky Lynch was going to take over for Charlotte. Charlotte gets hot tagged and hits some Ric Flair slaps, or should I just call them Flair slaps?
Chops. The chops.
Chops.
My bad. So, it goes back and forth a little bit. Naomi goes for a pin again, only for the top superstar in the world, James Ellsworth, distracts the ref long enough for Carmella to get the roll-up pin. Naomi,
I feel you don't give the credit that is due to the queen of Staten Island.
Carmella? She's
That's
hot.
That's like
but
saying you're the best of all the hood rats.
I think she
How dare you,
the
sir? That is a
work.
racist term filled with hate.
No, it's not. It is a term that was taken from 40-year-old virgin.
We will agree to disagree about the hood rat shit. Moving on.
Naomi isn't happy about the end of the match.
It's rats with hoodies.
And attacks Carmella after
Killing
the
me,
bell.
Smalls. Let's keep this moving.
The rest of the welcome committee and Charlotte run in. We have ourselves a full-on brawl. It's more of a beatdown, though, because the welcoming committee takes control. That is until Becky Lynch comes out. Becky Lynch?
The last kicker.
You mean the only person who I don't agree should be listed with the 4 horsewomen?
Oh my God! Okay, sir,
You
we're gonna
think
have
Bailey
fighting words.
or Sasha should
I let
be?
a lot of shit slide, but she's one of the top fucking women on both
She
Raw
is.
and SmackDown.
Oh my God, where is this coming from?
And I'm not saying that because she's a ginger.
Coming for her.
She is a female Sami Zayn. She is talentless. She is pointless. She is a waste of time.
Let's just say this. I will tell you this, CJ, and this is helping your cause. Every time I see that welcoming committee, mainly Ellsworth, No Chin music come out, my TV is turned down. I went to the side to polish my new championship belt. And then the moment I heard Becky Lynch came out, I stopped what I was doing and figured, oh, look, we now have a true women's wrestler in the ring.
No. With my special ability, which I have not revealed yet on this podcast, but the power to read minds, I clearly heard you go, oh, good, here's that jobber that nobody can stand. She'll surely get her ass beat.
Sasha was not on that show.
Now you're just trying too hard.
She gets hit with the
that's
rear
not
view.
true. You're just
Sasha
trying too
wasn't
hard.
on the card, Jess.
She has a great theme song. She has a decent intro, but she is the worst.
All right, let's finish this because my blood is gonna boil and I'm gonna have a heart attack.
Let me just ask this one question.
Let's put it this way: Is
Yes.
Alexa Bliss better?
Yes.
I think
But
if Becky and Bliss fought 1-on-1, it wouldn't shock me if Becky won.
she has
Bliss
before.
won. Where did
No,
she get
but
the belt?
No, but I'm saying if Becky fought Bliss again, and
What they need to
put
do is
Becky
have
over,
Becky versus
that
Sasha,
wouldn't seem,
and the
that
true
wouldn't
winner
seem
will
insane.
shine with a fiery red glow.
Becky lost constantly when she was pairing with Sasha. She took every pinfall against Charlotte when she was pairing with Sasha. That's why
because-
Sasha had a good record for a change.
Your
That's
comparison,
because her cousin twice removed was Snoop Dogg. That's the only reason why.
The second cousin of Snoop Dogg had a great...
Half of Brooklyn are the
great-
cousins of Snoop Dogg.
Okay, look.
Wow. That's just racist.
Your comparison
No, it's a
to
fact.
Sammy has
Next, you're
one...
going to tell me the most confusing day in Harlem's Father's Day.
Oh my god. Look, you have one valid point when you compare Becky to Sammy in the fact that they are both faces that can lose but are still over and still maintain their momentum throughout the division. It doesn't matter if they lose, they still will maintain their momentum. That's the only valid comparison.
I'll leave it at this. Let's have a little comparison, CJ. Let's have every Sami Zayn fan leave a comment saying, I like Sami Zayn, or Sami Zayn's pretty good. You're going to get fucking nobody.
Well, let's see if we get any comments first off.
Saying that Sami Zayn can out wrestle Charlotte with two hands and one leg. That's scroll on this one, tied behind his back.
Okay,
Wow.
guys.
So a man's going to beat down on a woman.
We're
act
almost
surprised like WWE hasn't done it before.
We're
In
not
every
even
intergender match
we're
and Santino Marella match ever.
we're not even
Wow.
done. We're not even done with the actual.
You heard it here
women's
first.
match.
Dapper says all Hispanics beat their wives.
Oh my god.
Just never change. Never change. Anyway. Becky Lynch comes out.
This is
and
why it's here.
No,
Anyway.
no. That is why you have photoshopped that belt clearly out of my garage onto your shoulder.
I'm going to finish the podcast
finish
by
the podcast
myself.
because nothing is worse than talking about Becky Lynch and Sami Zayn.
Continue,
Lynch-
CJ. I am on your side. Becky Lynch was the best part of that match.
She comes out, and at first it looks like Charlotte, and she looks
Drink
over to
your
Charlotte,
Chardonnay.
and then
There's
seemingly
not enough
joins.
to drink to get over this bullshit.
Becky comes out, and first she just looks over at Charlotte, and then seemingly joins the new stable until she realizes James Ellsworth is with them, and then she goes for the hug and is like, fuck that, and throws him into Tamina and beats down Natalya and Carmella. That is until Tamina throws a kick.
To quickly interject on something most fans might not be aware of is, for those with Twitter, you can take a look at Becky and Ellsworth's Twitter feud, which has been going on for the last couple months, and it is a gold mine of just SmackDown talk.
Becky does not like him.
No one likes him.
Well, yeah, that is true. It was an okay
Anyone
match.
with two hands has a fighting chance, John.
But they need a chin to take the punch.
I think this match goes to show that Naomi, Carmella, and Natalya are just not on Charlotte, Becky, Sasha, or Bliss's level. And yes, I include Becky in that that hierarchy. Naomi is getting better though, and those kicks are definitely the great part of her offense. Though I don't like that little combo she does where it's like the standing kicks and she does like 20 of them. Because
Okay.
You mean the Daniel Bryan?
Are we done with this episode? Because we need to have a serious chat about Naomi.
No, we have three more things to go over. We have the Sin Cara Dolph Ziggler match. Sin Cara does some cool stuff.
We talked about this. There's 40 different Sin Caras. This was clearly a different one wearing a bodysuit to cover the fact that he had gained 5 inches and 40 pounds.
Well, I will say, out of nowhere,
I was called at the last moment.
So, Dapper, you're telling me you can do that one-arm slam? That was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Because apparently the luchador has been eating his
Napoleon, give me
Wheaties
some of them
and
tots.
some fat. Because, yeah, he did look like he gained some weight. Poor Sin Cara, though, because right after he does the one-arm slam, he eats a super kick
The
for
American
dinner,
Dream got
and Dolph
over
gets the
polka
pin.
dots.
You know what? Given how fat and how pathetic that match went, I wouldn't be surprised if that was Sami Zayn reprising his role as El Generico.
Oh, my God. Don't you
He was
besmirch
not
El
El
Generico. And I don't know who
One
says
was
that
in
Sammy's
Mexico,
the same person.
the other one is in Canada.
Yeah, they're not the same person.
There's walls blocking them.
I will take whatever hate's coming my way. El Generico's overrated. Moving on.
Just because he's named the generic one does not mean he's overrated.
Jess, you're getting really close to getting kicked off this pod.
Do you agree with me? He needs a swift kick to the throat.
Yeah. So then we get maybe the best part of all of SmackDown. Bum 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 bum. The Fashion Files.
Yes.
Yes.
After Noam Dar calls out Rich Swann, we get an episode of The Fashion Files documenting the fashion police as they try to fight terrible fashion in the WWE universe. It's a tough job. I mean, just look at Luke Harper, but someone has to do it.
As somebody who has predicted that this is all they needed to become fucking phenomenal and elevate to the next level, and even wrote the WWE that, hey, this is what you should do with these characters because they are fucking goldmine and you're wasting them.
I mean, Fandango's amazing by himself.
Yes. Fandango, Tyler Breeze. I wrote the letter. I mailed it in giving them this exact idea. And I could not be happier to see that they used it.
So
and Vince McMahon wiped it with his ass.
If anybody missed it,
and then proceeded to go, my God, what have I done?
If anybody missed
shot himself.
If anybody missed the promo, I definitely encourage you to look it up on YouTube. I'll try to put a link in the description. But
I will say this though about
hilarious.
the Fabrizio or whatever they call themselves.
Breezango, show some respect.
Breezango. I hated them. I watched that vignette. I love them. I'm very confused though how by hunt and pecking on a typewriter got the cool Backlash logo to pop up.
I noticed too.
I'm very confused how that happened, but I did love the mugshot of Vince McMahon in the corner.
Okay, we're gonna get to the background gags.
The only T-shirt I did not buy, mind you, from WWE on their last $10 sale.
I thought it was awesome. The promo gives a rundown of the Uggos, aka the Usos. Never knew that being twins
Jimmy
could
and
lead
Jay
to
Ugo.
Yeah. Never knew that twins could lead to identity theft.
Guilty of multiple crimes, including jaywalking and
Jimmy walking.
There we go.
I did laugh out loud when Fandango called Chi-Town the Windy Apple. I really hope they win the belt. Do they have any chance of winning at Backlash?
I think so if they continue these vignettes.
I think ultimately they could win it and then immediately lose them to whenever the New Day finally shows up.
Gets off the scandal.
I feel that ever since they went drag for the comedy sketch where they showed up as the Bellas.
Oh yeah.
They've more or less gotten free reign as whatever you want to do, guys. We're gonna back you.
I would hope that would get them over in the writing room to give them some leeway. Like, fine, I guess we'll go drag in front of 3 million people watching at home.
Everything they've done has been phenomenal, and let's not sell short the fact that they are the fashion police, but they come out dressed as Navy sailors. I mean, they are every member of
the YMCA put together.
Yeah.
Now, Now
That's
I
based
got
on
a
the Village
question.
People. There we go.
I got a question. Are
The
socks
YDMC,
are
the Young
socks
Darren Male Association.
are socks with flip flops a code red?
Yes.
No,
Oh.
no.
Fight? Oh,
Depends.
Jesus, man. Are we going to fight about everything? First it was
It
Sami
depends on the
Zayn, then it was
flip-flop.
Becky
I'm the
Lynch,
guy
and now
trapped
it's
in
Are we
the
socks and
talking
middle.
about?
flip-flops.
Are we talking about Nike Velcro flip flops? Then no. If we're talking about thong flip flops, yes.
I would love for you to. We're gonna have to invite Fandango onto the pod now to discuss fashion sense. Well, or we could start a sideshow, Hodap's fashion tips. I'm sure we'll get more
Okay.
subscribers that way.
When you get one of
So
these,
some of the
everything
background
you wear is
gags.
sold.
Some of the background gags I found. Dapper already mentioned the Vince mugshot. We also had a Nakamura picture that had strong
But no style.
strong
Yeah.
no style. The Cena picture that says whereabouts unknown. Real estate fraud for the Shining Stars.
Yes.
And smelly written over a post-it note for the Ascension. And then finally we get our main event. And
I have one question about the Ascension. What are they now?
They're
In
guys that
NXT
get their ass beat all the time.
But in NXT, they were like, they had the Egyptian thing going, where they were like unstoppable gods, and now they're kind of going with Nightmare Before Christmas thing.
I don't know.
I have no
I've
idea
only
what
seen
they
them
are.
once, so
Nothing's working for them. They are still on TV. They are still on the main roster, and they are just going to continue to
I
reinvent
love
themselves.
them though, as we are the new Legion of Doom.
how long have they
That
been
was
called
awesome.
up?
Huh?
I'm assuming they started on NXT.
Yeah, they were the longest reigning NXT tag champions
Oh, really?
until they lost to the Lucha Dragons so they can get called up. And they made the fatal mistake, second only to winning the Andre the Giant Battle Royal. And they called themselves better than the Legion of Doom.
Oh God! you
Because
can't do
their
that.
gimmick was pretty much the Road Warriors.
Yeah. Well, that just sounds like another problem with WWE booking.
Can
where
we talk? Can we
call
talk
up-
about?
They call up an NXT person, they use them for one storyline, and then don't know what to do with them.
Can we talk about how great it must have been to be a wrestler in the '90s, just taking gimmicks from the '80s and gimmicks from movies, mind you, and making them work.
I
And
would
Vince
say
McMahon being like, "My God, Scarface! I've never seen that film. Do whatever you want with that concept."
It's probably better to be a wrestler now because you probably don't get hurt as much, and you don't have to take like a 2x4 to your face every other match.
R.I.P. the Blue World Order.
Yeah. So then we get our main event. Y2J comes out first to defend his recently acquired U.S. title. I still think they should do the full countdown, but at least he still has the light up scarf. KO comes out with, and we already talked about how his face looks terrible. Y2J targets the injured hand, and KO's hurting early. Is that a heel move?
What, blinding Jess with the gold around my waist?
Targeting the injured part.
My God. CJ,
Yeah.
keep this camera rolling. You're about to witness a murder.
KO lands a solid kick to the face and takes over the match. Jericho tries a running punch to KO in the corner. KO dodges and Y2J flies outside of the ring and lands hard. And then he does a cannonball into the barrier.
Mm-hmm.
That seems to mess up Y2J pretty well. And then KO goes for the pop-up powerbomb, but Jericho does the classic leapfrog maneuver and lands a solid elbow, knocking KO down. He gets to his knees, he gets his knees up to counter the lion salt, and then goes for another cannonball, but he misses. Lion salt try number 2 lands, and Y2J almost gets the pinfall. Jericho goes for the walls and gets countered the first time. Second time works, but KO is able to grab the ropes with his non-injured hand. Then he lands a super kick into a pin, gets a near fall. KO goes for another pop-up powerbomb, but Y2J counters with he counters, and then he locks in the walls again. And this time it's in like the dead center of the ring. So I thought the match was going to be over.
I did too. I'm very surprised he got out.
He literally
walls.
like crawled. Like,
Yeah. I'm surprised Jericho didn't cinch that one in a little bit more. Hey, so how's that security guard I got up front?
Yeah, so apparently we're still under a tornado warning, and we got to go ahead and build this wall like Trump said. They just finish up this match. How he got out of that is beyond me.
So we're at the part where Jericho locked in the second walls of Jericho in the center of the ring. Somehow KO was able to crawl in and break it up. Jericho then misses the baseball slide, and KO makes him pay with another super kick into the DDT onto the concrete. I thought this was going to be the end of the match. I thought Jericho was fucking done.
You'd think so, but people from Canada tend to be tougher than most.
Yeah, they're both Canadian.
He's not from Canada. He wasn't born in Canada.
KO drags Y2J back into the ring and hits him with a third super kick. Somehow he's able to kick out. Love KO's taunts. He's definitely the best at what he does with that.
One of the best heel guys.
Yeah, for sure.
I wasn't sure if he could hold without Jericho, but he's doing good.
He's definitely mastered being a true heel.
Let's wrap it up, boys. It's almost 2 a.m.
While KO taunts Jericho, rolls up KO for the near fall. That seems to make KO angry, though, as he finally lands a pop-up powerbomb, and he gets the win. I'm not very happy with that. Paramedics check out Jericho, and KO looks on. That is until he hits Y2J with another pop-up powerbomb. Tries to hit him with the third, but...
Let's not to forget, he declared that Y2J has never been his best friend.
Yeah, he definitely... That definitely broke my heart.
Friendship the Magician is probably rolling in his grave right now.
Wait, what'd you do to Friendship the Magician, Chess?
Wait a minute.
I loved when KO tried to do the third pop-up, but when he throws Jericho into the ropes, Jericho's so messed up he just face plants.
Did you just see what came on the feed?
No.
Jericho has postponed the Fozzy tour due to injury of concussion.
Really? KO leaves, and we see
That's what I saw
Jericho
on
get
TMZ.
helped onto the ramp by the refs until KO comes back again, Braun style. Owens finds a free chair in the front row, wedges it around Jericho's head, and slams him into the ring post. Stop it, KO. He's already dead. I'm sad Y2J lost, but it was another fantastic Smackdown.
Yeah.
What'd you guys think of the match and about KO immediately winning the U.S. belt back?
I did not like that. I wanted it to go a little bit longer. But I know we can't all have what we want.
I was going to say, I think the Jericho winning it the first time, I think we're going to have a program that continues once the Fozzy tour is over. I'm okay with it. I got to say, I think Kevin Owens worked well with the belt. He works well with the belt, and we all can agree he is a great mid-card talent.
And the face of the United States.
Yeah, the face of America. He does treat that belt like the One Ring, and now we're gonna get an AJ.
Any belt he gets, truthfully. Let's not forget when he had his Intercontinental run.
He did it better than John Cena too.
And
that's true.
And we're gonna get an AJ versus KO feud, so that's gonna be amazing.
Shut your dirty Jinder Mahal.
You guys have any closing thoughts?
I just want to do the disclaimer, guys. I'm a heel for this show. I do not support anything I have said or endorse anything I have done. I will continue.
That is true. He does not really support Jinder Mahal as a character.
Whoa. I didn't say that. I have said hateful things on this show for the sake of being the one to say hateful things.
That's what he wants you to think, dear audience.
Yes.
I secretly fucking hate people.
But
people of different.
But yeah, that was episode 3 of Kayfabe's not dead. Definitely shoot us some comments or send us an email and let us know what you
Let
guys
us
think.
know, seriously, if you guys want us to cover NXT, any past events.
And seriously, let us know if you want these two other guys to cover 205. Because the champ will never be on the show of 205.
Let us know what you want us to talk about. We love wrestling. We've gotten back into it as a group. We have multiple hosts that are yet to appear on here, but
eventually,
we're here.
Let us know anybody that you would want us to get.
Braun Strowman attacked one of our other hosts, so he's recovering in isolation right now.
Yeah, should we ever talk about the fact that we're enhancement talent, or should we just keep it off the books?
We'll have to discuss that off the line, but yeah, that was it for episode 3.